It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
93.3 FM this lovely Thursday morning is the 25th day in this wonderful month of January, of course, again in a wonderful year 2024. Adamu is my name. You can just call me Kobe. That too is fine with me. In the studio this morning is one who, of course, you've been praying to get to hear from him. He's in the studio, and as a person too, I'm so happy he is. Well, do I give you a surprise this morning? To just say he will be saying a very big good morning without saying his name? Anyway, you might not be able to forgive me if I should try that. He's Professor H. Bamayi in the studio this morning. He'll be saying a very big good morning to our listener. But don't forget, of course, we're reaching you from ZINARIYA Hills here in Just North Plateau State, Nigeria. Let me start by saying, have you eaten, sir? Because I know you'll be asking me.
Good morning, have you eaten?
Yes,
it's always
sir.
good to eat. Food is the number one medicine. If you eat food, other medicines will work in the body. Without food, they will not be able to work.
Yes.
Good morning, viewers and listeners. If you're in other parts of the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a beautiful day. Fantastic morning here in the hills of ZINARIYA, Just City, Plateau State, Nigeria. And we're very optimistic that today holds great things in promise. And want to encourage us to continue to live in peace and live in unity. And remember the words of Martin Luther Jr. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish as fools. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Yes, of course, you have to be deliberate. You have to, be willing to play your own part to make sure peace is sustained, not only in Jos City, but Plateau State, and of course, Nigeria by extension. So thank you so much for always doing the needful. All right, this morning, Prof, before we start looking at issues as we have them on our national daily, it's good we get to talk a little about non-payments of salaries of primary school teachers in some part of the state. Is it all of it? I learned someone called during City Reports. I think my last caller during City Reports just some few minutes ago. We're talking about lack of, non-payment of salaries. And then the children have been away from school for quite some months now. And that is not helping us. They are calling because they want this issue, to be addressed.
Yes.
That is why they have chosen to call even on City Report this morning.
That's right.
So before we go on, please, Prof.
In fact, I received a message a few days back. Somebody was complaining about the same thing.
Yes.
And it is not good because a laborer is worthy of his wages. When people work, they should be paid. And what we are even talking about is a mega amount that these primary school teachers earn. And for months, they have not been paid. And not only them, we are told that the workers at Hill Station have not been paid for several months. This is not good. I think this is something that His Excellency, Governor Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang, should address immediately.
Immediately, I love it.
The primary school teachers need to be paid. Of course, some of them, depending on which primary school, probably will be maybe the local government council that is responsible for their salaries.
Yes, that too.
Some are paid maybe by the state government. But whoever is responsible, these people deserve to be paid. There is no reason to keep them in limbo for months. There is no reason why they should not be paid. When our politicians, who earn millions, collect their own salary and emoluments even before any civil servant. Do you know that in this country, Nigeria, the politicians collect their salary before the lecturers, before the medical doctors, before the engineers, before anybody in this country. The politicians will have paid themselves first. CBN will pay themselves first. And then if there is any money left, then they will think about other Nigerians. It is selfish. It is unbecoming of a nation that is aspiring to become developed. It is unbecoming in a nation where we are thinking that we want to become a first world country in the future. Only God knows when that future will come. And yet very basic, minimal, primitive things like salaries, we're still talking about them. You know, in other climes, nobody talks about salaries.
Salaries, because it will always come.
You know, you take it for granted. It will always come.
Duly.
When I was working in Malaysia, I knew when my salary would be paid,
and it will be paid
every month for the whole year. They will give me the dates at the beginning of the year, in January.
That's a contract.
That my salary for January will be paid by so-so date, February so-so date, March so-so date, till December. And there is no time that the salary payment ever exceeded 25th of the month.
This is an African country.
In Malaysia.
All right.
It never exceeded 25th of the month. Right. In fact, if there is anything, it is that they pay earlier. If there is a festival, a holiday, a celebration, maybe by 18th of the month, the salary will be paid before the 18th. If it is 16th, the salary will be paid before 16th of the month. And this goes on for the whole year. It has never failed for years. Now, this is a country that doesn't have as much resources as Nigeria. This is a country where their prime minister doesn't earn as much as the president of Nigeria. This is the country where their own members of parliament in Malaysia are not earning as much as our senators. But yet things are working. And this is a developing country. This is about an age mate of Nigeria, because Malaysia got independence just 2-3 years before Nigeria. But yet, here we are talking about salary.
Salaries.
Something that we should not even talk about. Please, those concerned, the authorities, pay our primary school teachers their salaries. What have they done that you don't want to pay them their salaries? I mean, why is it that their salaries have been withheld all this while? Pay them their salaries for the sake of our children. Even if you don't like the primary school teachers, please, for the sake of conscience and for the sake of the future generation, please pay them their salaries.
That reminds me, Prof, when you said politicians will always receive their own pay, their own salaries.
Absolutely.
Duly.
In fact, you dare not delay it by a day or an hour.
Prof, has there ever been a moment or time where politicians, want to attempt going on strike because
their salaries were not paid?
Yes.
Maybe that will be in a new world, in another time to come.
All right, so
because these politicians, I mean, you cannot. They have never forfeited. There has never been a time in the history of Nigeria where their salaries were withheld. And in fact, just even imagine that you withhold the salary of politicians. They're not going to feel it, because they don't even need the salary. Because the bulk of the money they use and misuse is not from their salaries. So they don't even need the salary in the first place. But yet, they make sure they pay themselves their own salaries before they pay the messenger that is cleaning their office.
And I'm sure politicians can make this work for everyone. If they have made it work and it's working for them in terms of payments of salaries, for them it's working. It simply sends signals that they can make it work for every other
Absolutely, segment. I can't but agree with you. And you see, the budget of the National Assembly alone is more than the budget of 15 federal universities of Nigeria put together. And it's only one National Assembly. 109 senators, 360 members of House of Representatives. Their own budget with their aides is more than that of 15 federal universities put together. And one federal university has 2,000 academic staff, 3,000 non-teaching staff, and maybe another 3,000 technical staff. But yet the budget for 109 people, 360 people is more than that of 15 federal universities put together. Where is the fairness? I think our politicians are too selfish. They're extremely selfish. The most selfish politicians on earth are Nigerian politicians. They only think about themselves. They only think about gratifying their desires. They're only thinking about buying more cars, building more houses, putting money in foreign accounts all over the world, going on holiday to Dubai, to Los Angeles, other parts of the world. All they're thinking about is how to continue to live in affluence instead of thinking about the welfare and security of the people of Nigeria.
Prof, before we go to the first headline so far, these issues too are issues that we really have to give it time. Talking about Hill Station Hotel, this is one great structure that if that will be fixed, if it's working, and I'm sure Plateau State government will not regret making it work. Absolutely. And now not just about how it's looking these days, but also the payment of salaries. Workers in that very place for a very long time, I think for more than a year. For more than a year, they have not been paid salaries. That too, I'm sure, like you have mentioned, His Excellency should look into this, and it should be something that to be treated as an urgent issue.
In fact, if I have my way, that matter should be addressed today. It should not exceed today. Within 24 hours. Address it. If you don't need those workers at Hill Station, transfer them to other parastatals and other places. But pay them. They have families. They have children. They need food. They need water. They need shelter. They need clothes. They have to pay medical bills. How do you want them to pay it? It is not fair. I mean, this is inhuman to continue to punish people, afflict them, torture them for no just cause. Is it their fault that Hill Station Hotel doesn't seem to be working, doesn't seem to be what it is supposed to be? Is it their fault? This is a matter that should be addressed. Give me Hill Station Hotel today. People will be coming from Europe. People will be coming from America. As they arrive, just that will be the hotel of choice. Why are we allowing it to die? Why are we not doing something about it? This used to be the pride of the Plateau. But what has happened to it over the years? Poor maintenance culture, lack of visionary leadership, and many other things have deteriorated in Plateau State. And many other investment opportunities, we've lost them. Why? Because of lack of visionary leadership. That is the bedrock of our problem in Plateau State and in Nigeria.
All right, Anambra State Police Command has begun a manhunt for the suspected killers of the couple who were found in a car boot along the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway on Wednesday.
Just yesterday, a couple were found in the boot of an abandoned vehicle along Enugu-Onitsha Highway. Their bodies had been sprayed with bullets. Blood was dripping from their body. And they were left inside a boot. If you look at that gory graphic picture, you will see that they were killed in the most brutal manner that anybody can be killed on earth. And we don't know why they were killed that way. And their bodies dumped in the boot of a vehicle and then left along Enugu-Onitsha Highway in Anambra State. Anambra State has been in the news for a lot of crime, especially in recent times. This was what we were talking about last week when we had a guest from Anambra State to tell us about the state. Crime seems to be so prevalent in Anambra State that if something is not done, Anambra State is going to lose its glory. Because Anambra State should be a place of attraction. Lots of industries, lots of investments, industrious people. But these criminals have been making Anambra State to become a nightmare to the citizens. And unfortunately, this is another crime. And you know, these criminal activities all over the country, the police will tell you they are on top of the situation.
That has always been
They will tell you they are going to unravel the mystery. They will not leave any stone unturned. Give them a few days, they will keep quiet.
The issue is
you will not be hearing anything about it. Has anybody told us up to today who killed Bola Ige? Has anybody been convicted for his death? Have they told us who killed Elegiwa? Have they told us those who have committed all manner of crimes over the years in the country? But they will always tell you that something is happening, we'll unravel the situation, we'll leave no stone unturned, we're on top of the situation, we're hunting for the killers. That hunting, they will tell you they're hunting. Just give them a few days, you'll not be hearing anything. Of course, we know that in very minute cases, in a few incidents, the police have been able to nab killers and criminals. But 90% of the time, nothing has happened. We just want to condole with the families of the couple that were brutally murdered on that Enugu-Onitsha highway. And we pray that the souls of the couple will rest in peace. And we pray that our security forces can be more proactive when it comes to matters of security. Our highways should be safe for people to travel. When I was in Southeast Asia, do you know our favorite traveling time? 12 midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. at night. Even in East Africa, when I was there, our favorite travel time was 1 a.m., 2 a.m. After midnight, that's the time we love to travel. Nobody thinks about criminals on the highway during the night, talk less about during the daytime. But in Nigeria, people are not safe by day, and they are not safe by night. They are not safe at any point in time. Even in their houses, people are not safe. Even in churches and mosques, people are still not safe. They are not safe in the market. They are not safe in their offices. They are not safe on the street. They are not safe anywhere. What do you want Nigerians to do? And yet we have a government. We have a president that is sitting there in Asorok. We have a governor in the state that is sitting in the government house. We have security forces, commissioners of police, brigade commanders all over the country, various states. What are they doing that Nigerians cannot sleep with their two eyes closed? What are they doing that Nigerians cannot travel without having high blood pressure? What are they doing that Nigerians don't feel secured in their country? It is high time that these issues are addressed. Otherwise, we will continue to have this Japa syndrome because of lack of security. We will continue to lose investors because there is no security in the country.
These days, Nigerians travel outside, not just because they are, in search of greener pastures, but just so their life can still be there.
Absolutely.
Not just because they lose hope in terms of having been employed or anything, but their security.
A Nigerian said to me, "You want me to return back to Nigeria? My life is not safe.
That is
I
it.
cannot come back."
It's not always
Do you
about...
think that in my right senses, in all good conscience, could be, viewers, listeners, can I convince my friend in the US to come to Nigeria, to come to Plateau State and invest or live and work here with this insecurity? I mean, how can I do that in all good conscience? How can I convince them to come? Do I even have the courage to tell anybody that come and live on the plateau? Come and invest with all this insecurity. That is why we said the number one issue the Plateau State government should address, Nigeria should address, is security.
Is security.
Is security.
That is very true.
If you don't address security, forget it. Who wants to come to a place where his life is not secured, where he will be kidnapped, where he will be killed? We're talking about all these killings that are going on, left, right, and center, everywhere. Every day, you keep receiving reports of killings, of deaths, of murders, of assassinations, of kidnapping, of herdsmen attacks, of so many things.
Cultism.
Cultism, and yet you want people to come to Nigeria. Come and do what?
It's very hard. It's very hard.
Come and do what?
It's
You think that those people don't know what they're doing? You think they're mad to go into a place where they will lose their lives easily, where they'll be kidnapped, where their investments will be destroyed? You think that the businessmen are not wise? You think that they don't know that when they invest, they're investing so they can make profit? You want them to go to a war zone? I mean, who does that? That is why our government should leave every other thing they're doing and focus on security. Until Nigeria is secured, until Plateau State is secured, please stop everything you're doing. Stop receiving entourage, guests, people coming to pay courtesy calls in Asorog, in Literary Field, pay courtesy. What is all that for? Let's fix the matter of security. Stop all these political courtesy calls, all this fanfare and all those kind of things that we're doing. It doesn't help us. How has it helped the country? Let's fix security. When we fix security, when Nigeria begins to work, when Plateau State begins to work, when things are working, you will see that we'll be having accelerated development in the country.
Formerly, Prof, one will always be happy when his loved one seemed to embark on a journey. But today, you have a situation where if anybody there attempts to travel, the entire family is thrown into mourning.
They become prayer warriors.
Because they don't know, there is no certainty of this loved one of theirs who is embarking on a journey.
Absolutely.
To even go there safe and come back safe.
In fact, they will keep praying and praying and praying and praying and sending you message, calling to be sure. You know that you're going to arrive safely at your destination. Because nothing is certain in Nigeria. Okay. In Nigeria, life is poor. Life is solitary. Life is brutish. Life is short. This is the kind of country that we're living in. And it doesn't speak well. Go and Google banana countries. You see Nigeria there, the giant of Africa, among banana republics. Banana republics. Banana republics. You even see the worst countries in Africa. They're better than Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the most terrorized countries on earth. It's one of the worst places where any human being can live on the planet. And it is not a good thing. When you see this happening, that's why we are crying out. That's why we are shouting that our security forces need to wake up. Stop dilly-dallying around about the matters of security. Our political leaders, wake up. Stop all those courtesy calls, receiving visitors from America, Germany, and Asorok, receiving visitors here and there in Literary Field. Is that what development is about? Go to countries that are serious and see how many courtesy calls does the president receive, or the prime minister, or people in leadership. Face your duties, face your responsibilities, go into action, secure the lives of the citizens. Ensure that the welfare and the security of the people is taken care of. Not all this fanfare, not all this making noise, moving around, organizing ceremonies and making speeches. You should be seen to be acting to ensure that Nigerians are safe, secured, and that Nigerians, their welfare is taken care of.
All right, Prof, we have just about a few more moments to go on this, and we trekked 8 hours inside bush. Father of Abuja abducted girls recounts ordeal. Now, this is still about an unfortunate one, but we have this. It has to do with health. It says, Ministry of Health, Gavi, World Health Organizations, and UNICEF announce arrival of 112,000 doses of malaria vaccine in Liberia. This sounds like some sort of good news.
This is good news for Liberia. We're waiting for good news for Nigeria. These are countries that care about their citizens. How can Liberia be having 112,000 vaccines, RTSS malaria vaccine, before Nigeria? Last year, our government promised us that by this year, we will start benefiting from this vaccine. But Liberia has gone ahead of us. A small country that we helped to stabilize in the late 80s and early 90s through ECOMOG. They care about the welfare of their people. Do you know that in Nigeria, about 200,000 to 500,000 people die of malaria every year in Nigeria? In fact, if you look at the global spread of malaria and the global burden of malaria, Nigeria accounts for about 30% of the global burden of malaria. Why are we not interested in this vaccine? Why are we waiting for Liberia? Liberia have received their own malaria vaccines as of yesterday. Nigeria, when are we going to receive? I mean, we should have people who are serious in government, people who are proactive, people who walk the talk, not people who are just making noise. Like the federal government is making noise now about putting surveillance cameras and all that between Kaduna and Abuja highway. Why do you have to make noise about it? Put it first.
Surveillance camera are not
Put
meant
the
to be
surveillance cameras first before you tell us. You've not even done it. You're only thinking of doing it in 18 months' time, and you're already advertising and making noise. Can't we have leaders who will walk the talk? Can't we have leaders that are men of action? Take action, then you can talk about it later. Because action speaks louder than words. Why do we keep making noise? Look at what the president has done since last year. He talked about wage awards. Why is the wage award? He didn't want 2 months stop. He talked about living wage and nothing has been done. Why do you have to keep making noise? Why do you have to keep making noise? Do it first, then you can talk about it. Increase the living wage, increase the minimum wage of civil servants, then you can talk about it. But they will make so much noise and raise the hopes of the people high to the heavens and crash it down. It is unbecoming of leaders.
Well, if they were to do it, if we will see more of actions, and then there will be no need for them to say it, because myself, my humble self will be in the studio to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So they will not even need to say anything about it. If we see it happening, of course, this is a platform we get to talk about things done in order to help Nigerians. Prof, of course, let's see what happens in terms of is surveillance camera, the problem of insecurity or security in Nigeria? Because I remember the issue of SIM card registration. It has been on, and for this alone, I'm sure it would have gone a long way to arrest the situation. We've not seen it work. Is it camera that will work?
I think people are just interested in frivolities. Security cameras are fantastic. They're good. They help when you have people who want to be helped. And when you have people who are ready, serious about security. The other time, during Obasanjo's time, billions were set aside for CCTV cameras in Abuja. We've not seen it up to today. Now, what is the use of a CCTV camera when you fix it and it's not working? Or when it's functional, and then we need information from it, you said we're not able to download something that's happened to it, because these things keep happening. The other time, in a place where crime was committed, they said that there is a CCTV camera. Okay, let's see the video, what happened. They said it looks as if there is a technical problem. So the video cannot be viewed.
We seem not to be sincere.
We are not sincere about these things. So we have to address the issues, and that is re-strategize our security. If we don't re-strategize our security, we're going to continue to have all these problems. That is why we're shouting and making noise. Look at what is happening in Mangu local government area. We have said that this thing was going to happen long before it happened, but our security forces did not do anything. Even here, while we were talking on this platform, I said these attacks will continue, and they did not do anything. Yesterday, the attacks have continued. 30 people have already been killed and more. Why? Because our security forces are not proactive. I mean, if we had even looked at that story of Al-Qadriya, Mansur Al-Qadriya, these bandits took them for 8.5 hours into the bush. And they stopped and they went again for another 3.5 hours. They were carrying them and moving all over the place. They knew all these places. And then our security forces, the military soldiers who are trained as soldiers, will tell you that they don't understand the terrain. The terrains are too harsh. The terrains are this one. They can't go. Bandits are moving about in these terrains, and you cannot. And your security forces. I mean, we should be serious.
It's your job.
Because this is the job you signed up for. You should be able to do it, and you were trained for it. Look at the training we received when we were youth corpers at the orientation camp. We had to do what they call endurance trekking. I had to trek from one city to another city in the southwest in those days. And then the soldiers do this. They even do more than that. But yet, you tell us you cannot follow these criminals in the bush. You cannot move with them from one terrain, one place to the other. Oh, you don't have the logistics. You don't understand the terrain. You know, and all that. You should have just kept quiet. Because when you say these things, I mean, you make Nigerians to lose confidence in you. It is high time we strategize when it comes to security, when it comes to development. It is high time we re-strategize. It is high time our political leaders should be serious. Our security forces should be serious. People who are given responsibilities should be serious, so that we can have a more peaceful nation, a more prosperous Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Prof. It's been a wonderful ride so far, and now it's time, our listener and viewer. Wow, it's good to have you still staying tuned with us. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your
Unity? Unity TV.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
Stay tuned with us on Unity in 93.3 FM. We're reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA here in just North Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. Iji Adamu remains my name. Just call me Kobe if it's okay by you. That too will be okay by me. It's Unity Train, by the way. We are streaming live. You can just connect with us on YouTube. Just go Unity FM TV. We're streaming, so we'll be very happy that you also get to join us there. And on Facebook, it's Unity Radio FM/TV. Just connect with us. Yes, of course, it's lovely. This is the second segment of Unity Trend this morning, and we have a topic for discussion. And we don't discuss on the segment which we call Transit without having a guest. And so today promises to be very, very interesting, even because we have in the studio this morning, permit me to say, my mentor, because he's one person whom I look up to whenever I tilt the part of, contributing my quota, to ensure that peace and peaceful coexistence is sustained on the plateau and beyond. I'm talking about Aliji Salis Muhammad Abdusalam. He's founder, Displaced Women and Children Foundation, the CEO, Face of Peace Global. I'm sure by Face of Peace, many of you that we got talking even behind the camera will know him better when we say Face of Peace. So it's very hard for anybody who listens to radio on the plateau that doesn't get to hear Face of Peace Global. And he's the convener of Movement for the Rights of Al-Majari Child. He's in the studio, and he'll be saying a very big good morning to our listener and viewer. Good morning, sir.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Unity FM is home all the time.
All right, thank you. You've heard from him this morning, and we have a topic that has to do with your very humble self and myself, even in the studio this morning. It says the role of citizens in ensuring peaceful coexistence in Plateau State. The role of citizens. That has to do with you. What do you have to do? There is always something that you have to do. And there is always something that I have to do, just so to consolidate the efforts people have put many years ago just to make sure that peace reigns on the plateau. And so that's what we'll be looking at this morning. Do you have anything to do at all to make sure peace reigns on the plateau? So, let's just begin by saying, what is your assessment of peaceful coexistence amongst citizens in Plateau State? Now, if we compare it, many years ago, I'm sure Plateau is not a new place for you. It's home, and you have experienced 30 years back and 40 years back and maybe even 50 years back what Plateau was used to be and what it is today in terms of people living together. How was it then and how is it today, sir?
But the difference is very sharp.
Wow.
Very sharp in the sense that, yes, I was born here, and to the glory of the Almighty, 60. We don't have what we used to have. Sadly, it is growing. So today we have some new habits, new attitude that always hampers, peaceful coexistence. Number one, there is a quest for supremacy, religious quest for religious supremacy. There's quest for political supremacy, quest for ethnic supremacy. So this quest collectively, or in units as groups, always comes with selfish interest. So even within the same religion, for instance, the same faith, in Islam, this sect wants to be more superior, more recognized than the other sect, you understand? in Christendom, this denomination wants to be more superior than the other. So in the effort, even in the ethnic space, this tribe wants to be more prominent than the other. They now say, how many professors do you have? How many days do you
Yes.
Which political appointees have you ever had? This quest for supremacy, ethnic quest for supremacy, within the economic space too, you understand? So these are new attitudes that has affected our values, So the value of decency, the value of morals, the value of rules, the value, of legitimacy have all, been eroded by this quest, and then people go every length.
Every length,
Wow. And then by the time you want to go every length, the challenge you have is you'll be doing things that are unlawful, you'll be doing things that are illegal, you'll be doing things that are extreme.
Yes.
So all of these attitudes, we don't, in the past, well, you just hear most times people say, during Salah, Christians, we eat together, during Christmas, we eat together. Now we say it as if, it was something. No, it is supposed to be a normal thing. It's supposed to be a normal thing, because at the end of the day, when you talk about peaceful coexistence, do we have a choice? We don't have a choice.
Oh, I think I love this very, very well.
We don't have a choice because, you were dropped here, and this is where you found yourself. Nobody was asked, nobody was consulted before he was born. So that tells you that you have limitations, you have ceiling, and that ceiling, above that ceiling, is the supreme being. Is the Almighty Himself.
Almighty.
So when you now come down and I now start saying, pursuing all this quest for supremacy, religious, ethnic, economic, and you understand, political, you forget that this same supreme being that kept you here, you have no choice. You have no choice. You're born an Irigwe, you have no choice. You just came and that is what you saw.
Yes.
You were born a Magavul, you were born a Birom, you have no choice.
It wasn't your making.
It wasn't your making. So when you now come, you now say you want to change it, and then you were born, and then they said the PM, as a Magavul is your neighbor in the next village, that is how it is. You were born as they say, Bacha, Irigwe, that is your neighbor, that is how it is.
The Baches, the Baches, and the Irigwes.
The Irigwes, that's how it is. So we want to change these things, and it is becoming more and more difficult. So that extreme attitude, we're experiencing, the heights of religious, intolerance, heights of abdication of parental responsibility. We're experiencing heights. So we're extreme in the country. So we now say, I don't want this religion here. I don't want this. These are extremes, and then there is nothing you can do about it because it is not your making.
I love it when you say there is nothing we can do about it.
No, there's nothing.
And I love it
we
again
have no
when
choice.
you say we have no choice.
We have no choice because what is the alternative? Can't we see the alternative?
Yes.
Can't we see the alternative is death and destruction of property?
Death and destruction. That has been the case. That has always been the case.
So is that a preferred alternative? No.
All right. Now, when you were trying to explain the fact that we don't have a choice, because in the first place, it wasn't your input or decisions for you to be human or for you to be of any ethnic nationality that you belong to. Now, that makes me feel also that even the fact that I'm human being today simply means it was solidly in God's hands that I should be human. I would have been an insect.
Yes.
And a reptile.
Yes.
So that I'm human being today, it's God's thing. And that there are other human beings that are of other ethnic nationality, it is God's thing. Now, Well, I'm beginning to love it that way. But then, let's talk about how violence has dealt with us as a people on the plateau.
You see, when you talk, that is why I said we don't have a choice. Peace has no choice. You understand? You say, it is the only way. You know, like in my name now, they say Abdul Salam. That is messenger of peace.
Oh, right.
Because salam, shalom.
Oh, salam alaikum.
Yes, peace be upon you.
Yes.
So that's God. So I cannot be salam. You know, they say Prince of Peace.
Right.
That we are referring to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Right?
Prince of Peace.
You understand? So there is no way. That is the way. So God is the way, and then once you cannot embrace peace, you don't know God. That is just anybody who tells you otherwise. His scripture is his interpretation of the scripture is lying to him. There is no way. God is the only way, and God is peace.
God is peace. God is peace.
God is peace. That's the only, because you see, in Islam, you don't have rights even over the life of an ant, because you cannot create one.
Wow.
It has its use why God brought. You know, sometimes I used to wonder. I look at like the wall gecko, for instance. I say, oh, this is disgusting.
Yes.
Why did God? You know, but sometimes I see them feasting on ants. You know, they catch cockroaches. I say, oh, so they can kill cockroaches. That's very good. You know, I don't like cockroaches.
Yes,
you understand? So they all have their rules, and then. If you spank the ones in your room, okay, the ones in your house, the ones in your neighborhood, can you kill all the wall gecko in Jos?
Oh my, that's very unrealistic. It's
You even know where they are. So that tells you your limitations. You know, we have situation in Mongu now. Can you kill all the people in Mongu? If you kill all the people in Mongu, can you kill all the Magobul in Nigeria? Okay, what about the Magobul that are not in Nigeria? You understand? You kill the Fulanis that are in Mongu. Can you kill all the Fulanis that are in Plateau? What about the Fulanis that are in Nigeria? What about the ones that are outside Nigeria? So it's an exercise in futility. That's why I said we don't have a choice
than to live together.
So we must be able to look at how we can, and it can never be through guns and bullets. Can never.
Oh my! I think you have even come to what would have been my next question, which of course maybe we'll just start talking about it. Okay, what do you think will be best for us on the plateau? The best approach so far.
The best approach, it cannot be the best, you know, but an appropriate approach.
All right.
You understand?
All right then.
Now we should be able to differentiate peace and security.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, like for instance, now you look at Basa. The focus has always been security.
Okay.
We're making the same mistake now in Mongu.
All right.
The focus is security.
Okay.
We are not focusing on the peace.
All right. Okay.
We must be able to distinguish. They might be related, but we must be able to distinguish. When I talk about security now, you know, you can look at it. Also has the criminality component. You know, why are people wielding guns there? Why are people wielding machetes there? Why are people burning houses and you know? So you draft and the armed forces.
Okay.
That is now to check the insecurity. When the insecurity is checked, have you restored peace? You might restore calmness.
All right. That is very different from...
Yes, you might restore orderliness. Have you restored peace?
Oh,
because peace requires healing. It requires healing.
Oh,
so you have a challenge where these armed forces, bullets, everything will come and counter all the bullets and the machetes there. You understand? So superior power. Now healing has got to do with restorative justice. Healing has got to do with rehabilitation. Healing has got to do with reconstruction. Healing has got to do with reconciliation.
Okay.
These things are missing. So now what does it give birth to? It gives birth to 3 dangerous acts: revenge, retaliation, and reprisal.
Okay.
So we always focus more on the security. Oh, we just draft the armed forces to quell the and then everybody will run. Everybody has run physically into their hiding place. Okay, if we come out to fight, superior power can kill us. And
so let's just calm down.
Yes, but psychologically they did not run away.
They are only mobilizing
physically. They will come back. So you can have some form of orderliness, but psychologically they are not. So the next opportunity they have,
they will strike again.
Now
you have a situation where, of course, like one of our questions was that what has violence done to us? And I'm sure you know better than I do that we have
violence. When people come to even speak about it, you understand. A lot of the times they speak about it in terms of physical numbers. You know, numbers of houses burned, numbers of people killed, numbers. No, psychologically, it has made us terrible human beings.
Terrible human beings.
Psychologically, it has made us ungodly. So when people wake up in the morning and pray, you know, which is typical of every Nigerian, either you're praying the Islamic way or you're praying the Christian way. But I went to a Christian school. You understand? As a Muslim, I'm still a Muslim. You know. Now, what I'm saying in essence is, just to make a small reference of how it used to be those days. You understand? Even the owner of this station knew my elder brothers. They were classmates in St. Teresa.
Here in Jos.
Yeah, in Jos.
City.
You know, in the 60s.
You can imagine.
Yes, Honorable Dasuki, yes. He was classmates of my elder brothers in St. Teresa. You know?
How lovely that is.
Yeah, so I have known him for over 50 years. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is when you wake up in the morning, you know, I'm saying that Madai Secondary School at Kwanga, I was the only Muslim prefect there. You know,
it was not a big deal.
So it wasn't a big deal. You know, so when we wake up in the morning, you see our roommates, you know, well, we used to call it dormitory. Yeah, it's a hostel now.
Yes,
yeah,
that's English thing there.
Yeah, they will kneel down and put their head on the bed, you know, and pray. That immediately they are stepping their foot on the floor. When we wake up in the morning, 6 a.m., they do that. We as Muslims, we go and find a corner there, you know, and then we observe our prayers and
tolerance. Like I can see tolerance.
You understand? You know, so this violence, you know, has actually affected our psyche to the extent that we are gradually becoming ungodly without knowing it.
Okay.
You know, because mutual suspicion is so deep now.
Seriously.
That when you even share a temporal space with somebody, there's this grudge inside you psychologically. You notice that if somebody wants to even enter a tricycle, just because you share different faith with the person, you don't even want to sit close to the person.
Yes.
Sometimes you even drop for the person to enter inside before you sit. It is ungodly because we're all humans.
What inform your interaction when you join a tricycle? It is whether he belongs to my side of faith or not.
Faith, yes.
If he belongs, then you flow.
That is what violence has done to us, and it is ungodly. So that prayer you offer every morning, you know, has the tendency of not even going beyond the ceiling.
And our prayer points, sir, don't you think it's been affected? Because now it's like we tend to want to pray more that God deal with people we perceive to be our enemies than ordinarily asking that God should be continue to be faithful, thanking Him of His unending faithfulness.
When you engage in violence, you know, that is the first point of being ungodly. Because you have to be well and strong for you to engage in violence.
Please let me take this again. When you engage in violence, that is your first reference point of being ungodly.
Yes. In fact, that's the heights of ungodliness. Why? Because when you engage in violence, that means you're well, you're healthy, you have the strength. Okay. Is that what God gave you strength to do?
To do. No wonder those who belongs to the Christian faith, you know, it is better, most appropriate that you serve God in the days of your youth. That is about strength.
Yeah, it's about strength. It's about capacity.
Yes.
You know? So the person who is in the hospital on drip, on oxygen, you know his prayer point?
Just to live again.
Then you have it.
You have it.
And
that is to cause someone to lose it. Oh my.
You know? So it has made us very ungodly. Mutual suspicion, a lot of other things. So you see, to be very honest with you,
yes, sir.
The narrative, you know, you have negative stereotype narratives. It affects even the diagnosis of a problem. You know, we quell, you know, violence, but we don't solve the problem.
Wow.
That's why I said healing is missing.
Healing is missing.
That's why I said, you know, reconciliation, rehabilitation, all those things are missing. You know, so we completely ignore the peace and we focus on the criminality and then the security.
That is it. So, well, talking about reconciliation, at least is that English language ordinarily, I know, will speak well for us if we must ensure that we bring about sustainable, peaceful coexistence. Reconciliation, sir. How do you think this can be achievable for us on the plateau?
Look, for those who know me, I don't hide. I'm not a pretender. I'm not a hypocrite. Our religious leaders have failed us clearly.
Okay.
The clerics, the clergy, they failed us clearly. We can see the kind of fire they spit at their various places of worship. Not even worship, at their various places of either crusade, either gathering. Yeah, because a lot of the times when you tell somebody, you say clergy, when you say some of these things, they say, Salis, you know, be careful. No, the issue there is, if you do not have the attitude, if you do not have the mental state to reconcile and forgive, your faith is tested.
If you're not able to forgive
and reconcile, your faith is tested. You are lying. You are lying that you are worshiping God. You are lying.
No wonder you said, you know, at the time you engage in violence, it's the first reference point of being ungodly.
Of course.
It's connected.
Of course.
Yeah, I can see it here again.
In Islam, they said you are created to serve God. You know, though a lot of our people make mistakes. They think when you go and watch church, when you go and watch the mosque every day, you're serving God. No, that's a religious activity. Your serving God is in your attitude.
In relation to people.
Yeah, so there is time for everything. There's time to pray. There's time to eat. There's time for visitation. There's time to go to the hospital to visit people. There's time. God has given you time for everything. You understand? So it is the times, like in Islam now, a lot of people make mistakes. You're even supposed to be economically engaged before you can lead a mosque. For you to be an imam. Yes, because you don't have a means of livelihood. That's why you see some people insist that an imam must have a salary. You must have, so there is time for everything. You know? So in those everything you're doing, is God reflected in it? That's where I said our religious leaders have failed us. When you say you are superior, or your faith, or your sect, or your denomination, you can see it now. It reflected even in elections. This one say, if you don't find this sect, okay, you can vote for the other side. If you don't have from this other sect, then before you go and vote for the other religion. In Christianity, they say it must be this denomination first. If it is not this denomination, before you consider the other one.
Or someone would say, these denominations have always been there. Why don't this one
this
also
other
try?
one come? Forgetting that it is God that gives, because it's an individual thing. It's not a denomination thing. See, Bitrus, God does not live in Masalachi in Juma. God does not live in cooking. God does not live in St. Teresa or Bartholomew. God doesn't. God is everywhere.
All right, good. God is everywhere.
You know, so stop thinking because you are here, and then so you say that person in the other side does not have God in His presence. It's a lie. That's why I said our religious leaders have failed us, because that peace, that aspect of peace, is incumbent on them
to facilitate the process.
Yes, you know, so that true sense of reconciliation will be there, because you're just wasting your time. You know, we are doing what we're doing here now. You cannot guarantee the next 1 hour. Who are you? You cannot guarantee the next 1 hour. As I'm speaking with you now, somebody was born, somebody is just dying. No. So who the hell are you?
All right. Thank you so much, my mentor. Permit me to say that even on air.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's time for us to go on a short break. Our listener and our viewer, it's been a wonderful one, and I'm sure you're looking forward to be a part of it later on. We're going to short break. When we come back, it's going to be your time. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after all.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?
Joining us on today's edition of Unity Train on Unity 93.3 FM. Adamu is my name, could be if you like, and of course I'll be just fine. Of course, it has been a wonderful session even today, knowing fully well that it's time for us to continue talking about the need for us to participate in the efforts to bring about sustainable, peaceful coexistence, not only on the plateau, but of course in Nigeria. In case you're just tuning on and you've never been part of this, or you just joining, just to say, this is Unity Train on Unity 93.3 FM, and we're reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA here in just North Plateau State, Nigeria. We are streaming live on YouTube. Just go Unity FM TV. You will connect with us live. And again on Facebook, you just go Unity Radio FM/TV. Just in the studio, it has been Alhaji Salis Muhammad Abdul Salam. You know, he's founder, the Blessed Women and Children Foundation. He is, again, CEO, Face of Peace Global. Don't forget to also, okay, I think it's time for me to remind you again of one of the other things he's into. Very laudable efforts there. There is one other which I've not told you when I was making attempts to introduce him. There's a lot more about him, but the little we can take is that the convener movement for the right of Almajiri child. He's putting on a tag here, and he's putting on a face cap. He will tell us just a bit about the cap he's wearing, and then we just launch straight to discussing about the need for us to contribute to making sure that peaceful coexistence reigns. And just in 5 or thereabout minutes, the studio line will be ready for you to join us as we discuss. Sir, well, I don't mind if you tell me about this cap. Actually,
well, it's just you don't even need 2 3 minutes. It's 1 minute. Right. Integrated tricycle management. There's the angle of peace and security where commuting is concerned. I just mentioned transportation. You understand? We have by government record over 20,000 of these tricycles. Ironically, is about the major means of transportation. You know, sadly, the government or the security agencies, there is no record of any tricycle rider anywhere on the plateau. No record. So if they are involved in any criminal act, if they are involved, you cannot easily trace them. The records we have are records of the tricycles themselves as the vehicle, you know, the tricycle, and then the owner. You know, so we want to know these people. This is the reason why government does not allow them. The disorderliness, the unruliness, and then the lack of safety in certain aspects of that mode of transport is the reason why government said to protect the citizenry, they don't allow them practice on Salah, Christmas, New Year, Easter, you know, and then they have a curfew of 6 o'clock. You know, so that is a security challenge, you know, and it has the capacity to breach peace. So as a peace practitioner, you know, we took it upon ourselves to see that, look, how do we actually remedy this thing holistically? So we're calling on all tricycle riders especially, to register so that we can have a digital data of all of them. The passengers can feel safe, you know, and then the security agents can actually track, you know, any offender or any breach of peace, because kidnapping happens with that means of transport, and then 99% of that means of transport is commercial. I've not seen people who use tricycle as private, you know. So any kidnapping in that, you know, it has to do with the commercial activity. Sometimes they point knives at people and snatch their phones through them. They hypnotize people, you know, and all the criminal activities, you know, and the breach of peace by that means of transport is commercial. So all the riders, you know, they don't have any document. Some of them don't even have as little as a learner's permit. So government does not have any records of these people. Some don't even have NIN, some don't even have bank account numbers. So we're capturing their data,
Okay.
to help the government, to check the security, and then, if possible, and let them, sanitize, regulate that aspect.
I think this is one big issue that we will need it for a whole segment, and I look forward to having you so that you come and give us this in detail.
No problem.
Actually,
in fact, I'm looking forward to it. We need a whole program for it.
Yes,
because we're working towards it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Lovely. Then, because I've seen situations where people use tricycles to have to park all of their children going to school.
Yeah, but
in the tricycle, and then later on,
the government
they just come and pick them.
So
if there is no way we can trust them with any criminal activities involved, then how do you go about it?
There's no way. They don't have records anywhere.
All right then, but let's cap up on. Are you optimistic somehow that it's going to be a win for us to go back to good old days where we have seen peaceful coexistence, like in the past? You have said peaceful coexistence is not what we have now.
We need to conscript. We need to convert more people into this line of reasoning.
All right.
Yeah, for me, I have said there's no way.
You've converted me, sir.
Yeah. I've said there's no way. You understand? If I meet Beatrice, and Beatrice is happy to meet me, you understand? If I meet Beatrice and Beatrice smiles, he's happy to meet me, the joy there is more. See, let me tell you something, Beatrice. You experience the presence of the Almighty. You experience the presence of God in your life. In your life. Only through the good deed of another person.
Oh my. Yes.
Yes. And I give you the examples you can get from now till night. I give you one.
Okay.
On my way here, you'll be saying, maybe in HAUSA, yes. May God make it possible for service to come.
Yes,
you understand?
yes.
That is it. So when I walked in, I say, thank God he made it. You understand?
Yes.
It's a good deed. So you now say, that means God has answered your prayer.
Yes.
You understand? So you join a commercial vehicle on your way, and then you meet somebody, he pays the transport for you. Say, when you go there, say, thank God, today that my money is increased, I'll eat more food because somebody has paid my transport. So you can spend 40 days, 40 nights on the mountain, in the synagogue, in the mosque. It is one human being God will rise somewhere to come and solve your problem. Even if it is medical, he will direct you. So when you take, somebody will say, take this thing now, and then you find that you get the remedy. Go and run a test, and stuff. So, same thing. Even if it's an accident, you understand? And then within that space,
how everybody wish it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. You understand? But it is the human being that is the accident. So somebody has done something wrong somewhere for that accident to happen.
Oh, I see.
So that is why it's called an accident. It is not something that you are in charge of.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So you experience the presence of the Almighty. So I don't know why some people think there's another way. Okay. So when you were born, somebody else helped your mother to either clean you up or something, somebody is responsible for your inoculation, vaccination, somebody is responsible for, you go to school, there's a teacher, there's an auntie, somebody, and you don't decide who all these people are, and if you count them, they're either not all your language, of your ethnic stock, they are either all not of your religion. Even if they are of your religion, they might not all be of your sect, of your faith, or your denomination.
Yes.
So you keep wondering. So these other people are also important in my life. Who signs your certificate? Today you want to go into business.
Yes.
You understand? You go to CAC. Who signs your CAC certificate? Do you know
a whole lot of people who?
Yeah, is in your sect, is in your, who signed your WAEC, who signed your school living primary school certificate. You understand? So You just deceive yourself when you say it must be my denomination, it must be my sect, it must be my faith. You are not living a godly life.
You are not living a godly life. Wow. Now, our listener and our viewer, just in case you would want to be part of this conversation, now it's time. For SMS is 0808 478 9999. And our studio line today is very different from the one you're used to having. And this is it, in case you want to be part of it. 09031510095. The studio line. Again, 09031510095. I call it for the last time, but just this time anyway. 09031150095 is the studio line. If you call, just tell me your name and locations. You go straight up in a minute. Let's hear what you have. Remember that comments made on this platform and not in any way the position of Unity 93.3 FM. And do your best to stay away from defamatory statements and statements that are there to deter or bring about deteriorations of the relative peace being enjoyed on the plateau. Thank you so much. And comments on Facebook, you can just go Unity FM Radio /TV Jos and drop your comment. I'll read them just when the time comes. And so let's begin to see what we have on the Facebook even before caller gets to call in. This one from Facebook says, Aminu Abdullahi Shuabu say, good morning Kubi and your guest in the studio. I am watching you live from Ricos Young Cement. Actually, citizens have vital roles to play in to make sure that peace remain in every society. There are good and bad people. Let's be justice. Okay, let there be justice to ourselves and punish those who are not in respect of peace in our society. We pray for peace in Plateau State and Nigeria. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Oh my, it's like he's not getting me. 09031510095 is the studio line to be a part of the conversation. We've been talking, all right, the role of citizens in ensuring peaceful coexistence in Plateau State, Nigeria. Just in case you want to be part of it. And on Facebook, I have this one is from Maman Aliu. Say, good morning, Unity. How was the call? Okay, fine. And this one is from Suleiman Adam saying, good morning, Unity FM Radio. And another one coming from Ibrahim Hanafi say, good morning, all the way. Okay, all the way. Thank you so much. And I also have some SMS here to read. Let's see. Okay, I have quite a lot here, unusual. It said, good morning, my best presenter, Salam Party, okay, Suda Makan. All right, Suda Makan. It's lovely, all right. To you, Kulbi, and your prof in the house. We are proud of you all, and inshallah, Professor will be our next president. Amen. That's it, amen. That's a prayer somehow, all right. So please, let's hear this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Your name?
Yeah, fine. We thank God.
Okay.
Is this Unity FM?
You are live on Unity FM, please. Your name?
Yes, thank you, sir. Honestly, great to extend my warmly greetings to our guest.
All right. Thank you.
I've been listening to him. He's a man of peace.
Thank you.
I like the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Bye-bye, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Good morning. Okay. And he's saying Professor will be our next president of Nigeria or governor of Plateau State, as we always pray for him. Please, if you would do me a favor, don't call the SMS line. It's actually posing a lot of, making it too difficult for me to be able to read the SMS. Don't call the number that ends with 999, please. All right, pray for him to, oh my, I really cannot get this. People are just, okay, for him because, so please accept our call, Mr. Prof, from Comrade Alhaji Kamal. Okay, just praying for Prof to be the next president or governor of Plateau State. Morning, gentlemen. Chronically speaking, King Solomon was coming with his toes rage, and a group of ants were crossing. Oh my, people just won't let me read the SMS. Okay, I know what I'll do now. Just okay. The leader of the ants said, "Get into your houses, oh my fellow ants. Let's King Solomon will come and destroy you." The ants have realized that leadership is about protections of lives and properties. Whereas in Nigeria, we have humans and leaders, but they fail to realize this. What a surprise. Ibro A2 from Ricos. Thank you, Ibro. And this one is a long one. Say good morning, Kubi. And Mr. Salih's kudos to him for the wonderful analysis. It's so unfortunate that some people are bent on destroying the peace of Plateau State. It's a high time we begin to teach ourselves and our children that God made us all in his image and likeness, though differently. Our God is a God of varieties, and he made differences so that we can use our diversity to unite and progress and not fight each other. Just like Mr. Silas said, we can never what God has already done. Okay, we cannot change that. If we continue like this, we will never progress or enjoy ourselves in this life. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM, Plateau State, and Nigeria. Christy Izan from Rukubaro. Thank you, Christy Izan. And this one is saying, good morning, Kubi, Prof, and the Salis. It's been a while. Please keep speaking the word of peace for peace, because you are one amongst the lover of peace that contribute a lot for the current peace endures. And God's willing, we will continue praying for peace in Mangu and the other parts of Plateau State and nationwide. Thank you, at Ismail Isa. Thank you, Ismail. And this one is saying, good morning, gentlemen. May God bless you all. Mr. Salis, you speak about the safety of KK passengers, but is the government aware that a lot of keke drivers have been brutally killed by the same so-called passengers? What is the government doing to protect us too? Abbas M. Bawasa, keke rider from Tudun Wada. Thank you. Good morning. Your mentor spoke my mind. If everyone will fear God and obey him, then we will have peace. Thank you. You don't have a name here, but thank you, my mentor. You just confirmed the fact that. Okay, morning, Mr. Kobe, Prof B, and the guest. The only way to exist, to coexist in peace, is to forgive one another and love wholeheartedly. Remember, brotherly shall not kill, and both regions, peace. Okay, let's unite and grow Nigeria. Adeomi, okay, thank you, Adeomi from Bauchi Road. And this one is saying, life is a blend of pains and gains, and none will last forever. Is there any reward for good others done than good? Then which of blessings of Lord will you both deny? We can only have peace if we are patience, forgiveness, sincerity, parental tolerance, trust, love, charity, justice. May we continue and ponder and reflect in all. Hassan Garba, thank you. The last I will take this morning is, good morning, Kubi and our Father in the house. We pray for peace in Plateau State and Nigeria at large. We need people like Sir. You are a man of peace. Better Bala from Gumau. That's the much we can take. I truly apologize. There is no more receiving of calls for this edition. This is not because your contributions are not important, but it is time. We have just a minute to be out of here. And I think Mr. Salis will have to come back again. What's your final word? We have just a minute.
Yeah, we should try and make our contributions, even in the narratives, to be positive. You know, there is ethnic profiling. You know, there is negative stereotype narrative. You know, so when you want to voice out anything in respect of the crisis on the plateau, please let it be positive.
Let it be positive.
There's too much negativity around. You understand? And I was saying on one platform yesterday, though certain government official said no. The earlier we realized that, I said not on the plateau, every ethnic group in Nigeria has a militia.
I think I will have to note this down because we will have to talk about this again.
Yeah, every ethnic group, because it is when there is a crisis you see them. It is informal.
Yes.
How they get to organize it, we don't know.
Yes.
But every ethnic group,
once there is pressure,
you will see them
against them. When they perceive pressure against them,
they will appear. Some have been celebrated. I remember former Governor Fayose. I saw him dancing with some people in the government house. They had guns and they said they are Yoruba hunters and the rest. It is a militia. When you put pressure on that location, they will attack. They will defend. So now we're beginning to use these militias negatively.
Instead. All right.
You know, so we must learn to accept the fact that owning, protecting, defending, and concealing the criminals amongst us will consume us one day. This conspiracy of silence will not help us. May God heal the land.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Salis, for coming. And truly, I would have loved that you say it on air that you will be here next week. But you see, I wouldn't want to have you commit yourself to doing that.
Possible.
You're too busy.
There were times I used to come to Unity FM twice a week.
All right, so
you know, we will arrange that and get a good topic that will add value. I'll be here.
Thank you.
That's the only way. You know, I appreciate God for allowing me to use what He gave me.
All right.
If I keep it in my head, it's of no use.
All right. Thank you so much. Don't conceal the criminals amongst you. Once there's any of such time, please be all out. Bring them out so that they will face the full wrath of the Lord. That's what we have to do in order to contribute to making sure that there is a sustainable, peaceful coexistence, not only on the plateau, but Nigeria. Thank you, everyone who worked with me to make these productions a success. Tomorrow is going to be another lovely day. From me, Kobe, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.